All right, Bob, on this week's cast, the Wiley Manager boys, that's you and me, by the way.
That would be us.
Employee retention strategies. Why don't you give the folks a bit of a sneak peek into the kinds of things that we'll be addressing on this week's podcast?
Right. Well, on this week's podcast, we are looking at employee retention, not from an organizational point of view, but from an individual managerial point of view. So again, this is for the manager that's managing some part of a larger organization. What can he do? All right. So, or she do. It's not about, the other HR departments and the large organizations are certainly welcome to listen in, but this podcast is geared to individual managers and what they can do in their world. Because a lot of times, as you know, a lot of these managers seem to feel a little bit helpless when it comes to employee retention stuff. They say, well, the HR department is responsible for paying these guys, and so there's nothing I can do about it. So we're going to shatter that
compensation department's problem.
Yeah, we'll shatter that myth, and we'll give people some actionable tools to go forth and try to better manage their employee retention in their area.
Okay, well, we're not going to get into it in depth right now because that's what we do in the full-length version. But maybe tell folks, there's a bit of a 3-step model, for lack of a better word, that we're going to suggest these. Why don't you tell me what those 3 are, and then to hear the full version of what goes into each of those 3, they have to go get the full podcast. But what are the 3 things we suggest they can go do right away to help them out with this?
All right. Well, I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you actually care about retention. But just in case, I do spend a little bit of time talking about why you as a manager should care about keeping your people around. And you think, well, some of them are a real pain in the ass. I wouldn't mind getting rid of them. But in fact,
different podcast.
Yeah, we'll do that one another time. But I'm going to suggest that there's 3 things that people can do for employee retention. You need to ask people what they think. You need to tell them. You need to respond to what they've told you, and then you need to act on those things. Okay, so ask them what they think, tell them they've been heard, and then act on something. We'll go into those in more detail on the full-length podcast.
And you'll get some tips and some ideas in terms of what some of those actions might be. So we look forward to hearing more about that when we get into the full-length version, Bob.
Yep, I actually have a list of 10 things that any manager can do to improve their employee retention right now.
You want to give them one as a sneak peek?
Offer feedback. It's free. It's absolutely free.
Cost-effective way to improve retention. Offer feedback.
You betcha.
All right, Bob, I look forward to hearing more when we chat on the longer full-length version. You can find the full-length version of the podcast on iTunes. Just search out Wiley Manager. As well, check us out on our website, wileymanager.com.